Our self-esteem, or self-value, depends on the value of the features associated to ourself. If we are rich, tall and healthy and think that these features are positive, our self-esteem will be high. If we are poor, sick and unemployed, and think that these features are negative, our self-esteem will be low. It is often believed that the features' values are absolute and immutable. But history shows that this is not the case. Having a fair complexion was once considered positive, because it was associated to a higher social status. Today, being tanned is positive. This proves that features' values are relative and plastic. Values can be changed by association. If we associate a negative feature with a positive feature, the value of the first feature will increase. Marketing uses this principle with influencers, whose presence increases a product's reputation. We want to apply this method to our negative features, which cause our low self-esteem. This series of videos highlights some common negative features, proposing for each of them a list of people who share the feature. Knowing that we are not alone may help to render them less negative and more tolerable. Enjoy! Abraham Lincoln, 1809 to 1865, was an American politician and lawyer. He was the 16th U.S. president, from March 1861 until his assassination in April 1865. He led the Union through the American Civil War, which represented the most serious moral, constitutional, and political crisis in the entire history of the United States. After the end of the war, he managed to preserve the unity of the country, strengthened the federal government, and modernized the economy. Lincoln was reported to suffer from depression after all major traumatic events of his life, such as the death of Anne Rutledge, Lincoln's first love, in August 1835, the cessation of his purported engagement to Mary Todd Lincoln in January 1841, and after the Second Battle of Bull Run. Serge Vasilievich Rachmaninoff, 1873 to 1943, was a Russian composer, virtuoso pianist, and conductor of the late Romantic period. World famous, he is considered one of the greatest Russian composers and pianists ever. He is best known for his famous piano concertos No. 2 and No. 3, his symphonic poem Isle of the Dead, and his Rhapsody on a Theme by Paganini. The reception of his Symphony No. 1 certainly contributed to Rachmaninoff's long-term depression, but it was neither the only factor nor the catalyst. While its failure was by no means an insignificant event in his life, his depression was precipitated only by later reflection on the event, compounded by physical illness and other incidental events. Gwyneth Kate Paltrow, born 1972, is an American actress, singer, and entrepreneur. In 1999, she received an Oscar and a Golden Globe for Best Actress for the film Shakespeare in Love. In 2008, Paltrow launched the weekly Goop newsletter and subsequently the e-commerce company Goop.com, specialized in the field of wellness and in the sale of products and remedies of alternative medicine. Paltrow suffered from postpartum depression after the birth of her second child. "I thought postpartum depression meant you were sobbing every single day and incapable of looking after a child," she told Good Housekeeping. "But there are different shades of it and depths of it, which is why I think it's so important for women to talk about." Edgar Allan Poe, 1809 to 1849, was an American writer, poet, literary critic, journalist, editor, and essayist. Considered one of the greatest and most influential American writers in history, Poe was the initiator of the detective story, horror literature, and psychological genre. Poe is considered the first alienated writer in America, having to struggle for most of his life with financial and personal problems, as well as with the incomprehension of the public of the time. Poe suffered from recurrent depression episodes, which could suggest a posthumous diagnosis of bipolar disorder. He also manifested impulsive behaviors and an angry disposition, accompanied by alcohol and drug abuse, which led to his premature death at the age of 40. Yet, the deep depressive states and emotional ups and downs endowed him with boundless creativity and with the ability to write for hours.